Today I have one that I don't see every day, but it's a 2012 Volkswagen Jetta sportwagen TDI. We are going to be doing a timing belt, probably an oil change as well, but minor details. And yeah, let's get started on this project. I do not have the special tools, but I'll figure something out. You got a tire leak, Dale? I don't know, but it's bubbling. So apparently we got a leak in the tire. Saw it when I was putting the hoist on. Got a cheapo plug kit. We're just going to throw a quick plug in it. T25. Belt tensioner is a 16 millimeter. Now the balancer, it has these triple square. They're kind of a goofy looking bit. They are a 10 triple square and they fit perfectly in here. I'm using a reducer so I can use my 1/2 inch impact because they're usually somewhat tight. The main crank bolt here is a 18 millimeter, or 19 millimeter, my bad, 19 millimeter 12-point socket. I'm going to put it on top dead. I don't know if I'm on compression stroke or not, but I'm going to get it on top dead. $10 millimeter. Double swivel and there's one hidden up top. This is the tensioner bearing itself. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going like this when I'm spinning it. It's making a bunch of noise, it's all dried out. E30. Okay, so I'm 180 off from where I need to be, so I'm going to turn this thing 180 degrees. 50-50 shot of getting it right when I put it on top dead center down below. I figured I'd try, but fail. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set right. Then I'm going to clean up the pulleys and mark them with some white mark or some kind of marker. That way I get the other belt, I'll mark it the same and get it on the same, and it makes it a little bit easier to assemble. You don't have to worry so much about marks. The special tool is supposed to go on the end here and then down on the crank to keep them centered. By marking this I won't have that problem, but I'm still going to try and find a special tool for the cam, only because that way I can make sure that it doesn't move on me. In this cam pulley there is a slotted spot, and in that slotted spot there's also a second hole deeper inside, and that second hole lines up with a hole on, I'd imagine, the cylinder head. I can't visibly see it, but there's another hole in there. I can feel it. When I got it on top dead, I can slide something into there. A 15/64 drill bit happens to fit that hole perfectly. And this, so 15/64, it's right here, right? You can see it's holding it in place. This guy is just barely ever so loose, and this is a 6x1 bolt. As long as you have full threads, it's going to be able to hold it fine. This drill bit's so long, I'm afraid I won't get the belt off. That's why I ended up looking for one of these and going this route. Now this is Teflon PTFE sealer. I'm just using it as a white marker, more or less, or paint marker. Belt tensioner is a 15 millimeter. 15 Okay, there's the belt. Now I got to, when I mark this, you'll notice I did 1, 2, 3. That way I know cam, pump, crank. Pump doesn't necessarily need to be marked, I don't believe, but I mark it anyway. The older ones, it is important. Now when I put the new tensioner in, this little pointer, I want to line it up with this notch when the belt is tight. I'll have to rotate it a couple of times and then make sure that it lines up here when it's settled into its position. I'm doing the water pump now. They're 10 mil bolts that hold it in place. The water pump is held on by 3 bolts. There's an O-ring in place of it. When you pull this out, it's going to gush quite a bit. I have blocked off all cooling system areas that allow air in, and the reason I'm doing that is an attempt to try not to have to drain the entire system just to do this. So I'm just going to quick pull it out, throw the new one in as fast as ever living possible. Most likely it won't work and I'll make a big mess, but I'm going to give it a shot. Here we go. Well, that wasn't too bad of a shower. Alright, so you can see my paint mark there. That's how I do that to make sure I get it in the right spot. And just like this, let's see if I can change the lighting here. There we go. You can see how it lines up with it, the 3 cogs. 3 cogs. Make sure I line it up correctly. And then that way when I tighten all the belt down, it should still stay lined up. And all should work good. So I will go ahead and do the tensioner next. Now, you can see that spot right in the center of your screen. There's that little indicator, and then there's a little notch off to the right. I gotta line that indicator onto that notch like I was saying earlier. Now that little tensioner thing, that takes a 6 mil Allen. Because I did not remove the motor mount, I'm using this little driver, and then I have a 1/4 inch ratchet wrench that I'm using on there. That way I can keep it nice and short and be able to get at it. Now it did move, so I'm going to readjust it. Now you'll notice this has the 2 bolt holes here.
When I pulled that off, it all came off as an assembly, but see how it does that? It overlaps. So when I put this on, another thing that I want to note is, where's the cover? This guy right here, it intertwines like this, okay? And you can see this spot right here, where it's got these two tabs. It's extremely hard for me to line that up, putting this on last. So I'm going to put this on first, then I'm going to slide this into place, then I'm going to slip this underneath all of that. And by doing it backwards, it makes it a lot easier for me to get this to line up.
Nice new serpentine belt.
Now I wanted to show you this. The Europeans have something that they do actually correctly, pretty much on all the European stuff. The belt tensioners, they allow this little hole here, and it's so that you can shove a pin in there to hold the tension, so it's able to be, able to put the belt on real easy. And all you gotta do, pull the little pin out. Now your tension is on the belt, and it's good to go. I was using just this is from a timing belt kit at one point. I always keep these little pins and stuff that hold the tensioners in place. They come in handy for various things like this.
Well, if you made it this far, thank you for continuing to watch this. And if you are a proud owner of one of these Volkswagens, these TDIs, or even the non-TDI version, I am going to be posting up in the corner a video for you guys. It's about changing the cabin air filter. So if you need to know where your cabin air filter is and how to change it, it's a quick, short little video. Won't take but a couple of minutes to watch it. And I'll be posting that up and putting it in the corner and linking it to this video as well. So yeah, now, if you didn't know, now you know how to do your timing belt, or at least you have a good idea. Of course, always refer to the manual for torque specs. Please leave a comment below. I would really appreciate it if you leave a comment below. Do you want me to include torque specs of things when I'm doing these things? I have been excluding it out because I figure it'd be best for you to go to the service manual to do it. Let me know, yes or no. Should I include torque specs or leave it to you to look it up, because that's the correct thing to do per vehicle, per application. At least that's how I feel it is. A lot of torque specs I kind of know just off the top of my head, so I don't even bother looking them up. But if you want me to actually look up the torque specs and get that visual on here, please comment, yes, please include it. And I will gladly start bringing that stuff up. If this video was interesting to you and you enjoyed it, I post plenty of random cars that I work on, along with the performance stuff. And be sure to check out my playlist. I have some very good playlists that I'm going to start working on that are car specific. So if I have enough Volkswagen stuff at some point, I will be doing a VW playlist, a European playlist, a C6 Corvette playlist. I just started that one. So I will be putting playlists up per vehicle type for the audience of you guys as far as what kind of vehicle you own. If I get a lot of a specific vehicle, I've been getting a decent amount, like the C6s, I've been getting a decent amount of F-150s. I'm going to be starting a playlist on that too fairly soon, maybe even before I put this video up. So please like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned. I'm a new channel, and I will be bringing as much content as I can. And the more content I get, the more beneficial it'll be to you. So thanks for watching this timing belt job, and I hope to bring you a lot more content.